What do you call Marvel's Phil Coulson holding an Android-powered handheld? An agent of Nvidia Shield. Hello and welcome to the Pocket Legion. I am Chris, aka Plastic, and today we're going to take a look at the Tegra 4 powerhouse, which is the Nvidia Shield Portable. So here is the Nvidia Shield Portable. Quite an incredible beast, really. Shipped in 2013 with relatively little in the way of like build up and marketing before it. For about $299, and it was sold as bridging the gap really between some kind of like pocket PC and your phone. So Nvidia like played up the idea that you were going to be able to like do a bunch of PC stuff on it, and the fact that you were going to be able to play even more extensive Android games than already existed. So it was kind of exciting, really, because it kind of felt like the gap that was missing after the Vita, and something between that and maybe the GPD Win 10 that we looked at a couple of weeks ago. The specs are super impressive. It's got like a 72 core Tegra 4 GPU and a quad-core CPU, which is insane. And you can do PC streaming to it if you have a PC with all the correct gubbins set up. You need an Nvidia card, and you can stream games at 1080p 60 frames a second straight to it, and play Team Fortress 2 on the toilet if required. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM and a huge 7300 milliamp battery, which lasts about 5 or 6 hours when it's fully charged. So all that said, why wouldn't you rush out and buy one of these? Well, let's take a look. So the packaging is gorgeous, lovely matte finish box, lovely printed stuff. Take Android gaming to the next level. Well, that's true. It's powered by Android, so you get all the benefits of it being in the Google ecosystem. There's notes about the Tegra 4 processor, but this is all relatively not interesting compared to what's inside the box. So let's open this package up. Again, no expense spared on the packaging, which is fantastic. I'm going to open this up the wrong way, I'm sure. Here we go. Okay. As seems to be coming fairly standard, lovely little wallets with all your instructions and warranties. Little notes about the gameplay stuff. There's the warranty, very nice. Charging socket and a charging cable as well. But let's get to the fun stuff. Here is the Shield Portable. Let's get that out of the way. So, I mean, the first thing you probably notice about it is it looks like the kind of device that's been well, it's kind of like a PC that was modded somewhere in the early 90s. They I don't know, Nike running shoe stylings with Ford Mondeo looks, I would say. Yeah, okay. They actually had this really interesting mechanism that they brought in here, where you could replace the shields. This is the shield, by the way, the namesake. They magnetically connect. Now, if I remember rightly, those shields sold for about $40 or $50 each and came in like gunmetal grey, black, a bit of carbon fibre. But yeah, definitely on the business end of styling. The thing weighs 20 ounces. It is one of the heaviest handhelds I've felt, I think, since, I don't know, Atari Lynx 1. So just carrying it around is insane. Okay, so there's a cooling vent / speaker underneath there. Normal FCC stuff and information. Incredible triggers. I mean, these feel like they should be on an Xbox or a PS4 pad. Audio, there's your charging socket. That's actually that is the cooling sink right back there. You can put an SD card in and dump those stuff onto it, which is really, really cool because it only has 16 gig of memory. And HDMI out, so you can like pipe this guy straight out to the TV. And like I say, play HD as well. So let's get into this guy. Again, yeah, I mean the controller is very, very similar to an Xbox pad. You've got two extremely good analog sticks down here, which you can probably see a mapping to the cursor on the screen. You've got a second one here that in game is obviously a control, but here is just mapping to the menu. Really nice D-pad, speakers up here on the front, and XYAB controllers that you'd all be used to. The screen is a 5-inch 1280 by 720 IPS screen, so that is a super nice screen to put on a handheld. So, I mean, I've travelled with this on business and stuff like that, and it is a really, really good replacement for a sort of, I don't know, if you just want to pick up emails and you want to do a bit of gaming and you just keep yourself entertained and watch films and stuff, it's got all the power you need to do that. So here is the Nvidia / Shield button though that takes the ecosystem away, the normal Android ecosystem, and overlays the Shield ecosystem over the top. And so here you have a shop, Android news, Android games, media apps, and PC games as well. So this is where you can connect this guy up so you can actually stream your PC games on a Wi-Fi network straight to it. If you go to Android games, you can see we'll take a look at a couple of those in a minute and see how well they run. And then Shield has its own ecosystem of news, its own games that generally like are at the higher end of the Tegra kind of ecosystem. You see even here, yes, it can play Crysis. Well, yeah, that's definitely a thing. So yeah, and excitingly for me, it means I've got access to a lot more of the higher end Android games that I like playing when I'm out on the move. So let's take a look at one of the classics. There's a Steam game that you all know and love, Portal. And I mean, this has always been a dream really to be able to take these kind of PC games with me on the move and actually enjoy something. But even right now, just filming this, my arms are becoming weak. It's super heavy. The touchscreen is incredibly responsive. So in a few weeks' time, we're going to take a look at the follow-up to this guy, which was the much more sensible Shield tablet. And basically, they detach the screen and the controller into its own thing. The controller is way more like an actual controller that you get from a console. But the fact that it isn't connected to the screen means the screen is just a super useful Android tablet. But we'll look at that in more depth when we get to it. So here we go. I'm sure there are no spoilers in here for anyone. And so there you go. It is exactly the experience that you would get if you were playing this on the PC.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper. Before we start, however, keep in mind that although fun and learning are the primary goals of all
Jacques Dados, you're giving me PTSD just listening to you. Right, so let's take a look at something a little bit more arcadey. So, Metal Slug 3. So a lot of these games as well map pretty well because they understand that they're running on the Shield, and Nvidia's done a great job at working with developers to make sure games come pre-set up. But you do find games from time to time that just flatly refuse. So so you find here B just quits us straight out of Metal Slug, so we need to go back into it. And this for me is where this guy becomes super impractical. As beautiful as it is and as well put together as it is, I'm now finding to play that this game, Metal Slug 3, which is a pretty common Android game, I am having to try and do this weird claw hand to play on the screen because there is no support for the controller whatsoever. Which is not so bad when you're sitting down, but even just trying to hold this guy out here to demonstrate it. But that being said, if you want something on the move, super powerful, and well, frankly, what is an amazing vanity project by Nvidia, you can't really go wrong with this. Shield Portable. It is time for you to be judged. I really don't know how this one's going to go. Let's see if we can get this in here. Oh wow, okay. We are pushing the limits of the pocket of judgment. Wow. You're going to need a pocket like a wizard's sack to carry this round, and I can tell you now, this is weightier than a quarter pounder of cheese in your back pocket. Okay, Nvidia Shield. You are beautiful, you're well made, and you have more content than you can shake a stick at. But you are going to need a pocket way bigger than the pocket of judgment. You get a Pocket Legion rating of a fat professor in yoga pants. This week's game is 7 grand steps. Play your own personal board game and fight your way through the ages. Like, share, and please do subscribe. Tell a friend. And I'd like to give a big shout out to retromodding.com. Please check them out. If you ever wanted a specialist handheld made, those are the guys to do that for you. And until next week, keep your pockets packed.